Hello there. So today I'm going to show you all my long-term Minecraft survival world. So this was actually so originally when I was starting to do Minecraft videos, I thought for a while that I was going to make survival series ones, which I have done some of those multiplayer type ones. I didn't really do very many of these single player ones. So, and yes, this is modded, you can tell. You know, I have the chestplate Elytra, and yeah, I also just gave myself the infinite fire resistance. This is part of my character thing, but a lot of the others, like the stuff like that, the effect, the armored Elytra, a few other things, those are from mods, all that. This world used to be on Bedrock Edition for a while now. No, I can explode into I can do that. Oh yeah, and also I have it where I can use a Riptide Trident outside of water. But anyways, so yes, this world I started on Bedrock Edition back in I think it was the 1.18 cycle. I don't remember exactly what minor version it was. But ever since then, I've played on this world a lot. I've not played on this world very much at all this year. I actually originally stopped playing it officially probably somewhere around end of last year, or maybe early this year, something like that. I don't know. I've come back on here like once or twice, maybe 3 times or so, and just kind of wanted to show you all kind of the stuff I got. So this world I've had for about, I don't know. I don't even know how long to be exactly, but it came out in 1.18 cycles, so it's probably about 2, 3, maybe closer to 4 years old. But I've not really played it very much in the last probably year or so. Probably a little less than that, maybe a little more. I don't know, something like that. So let's just get on to it. So this is like the starting area that I made. Although technically, this over here is hold on a minute. This is actually where you'd spawn at. It's crazy. I remember. I mean, I haven't really thought about it in a while, and some of the memories are kind of fading. But I do remember first couple of times I was, you know, I was here. The very first time I played on this world, I did with my brother. It was pretty cool. Because this is an area where I brought a shulker in the overworld, and then I was trying to move it for an achievement advancement on here. But if you use fire rockets, then it'll break it'll break the lead. So I had to go high up enough so I'd be able to glide enough distance over there. So this is this area here. So this is kind of some stuff. So I actually thought I was going to make this into a server. I might still do that someday, or at least something like that, but I don't know. I mean, those can be quite a lot of money and whatnot, and I'd really have to have a lot of the things. I honestly might prefer. I'd like to have my own server at some point, something, but I don't know if I want to use this world for it. I had some extra like storage type stuff here. I've had a few of my friends join here, so they took some of the stuff. No, so there was like some iron and gold here and there. Unfortunately, there's not. This is the first lava pool here. Although I didn't actually see that until, ironically, very much later. Another portal there. Nice thing that since I have these mods here, I don't have to worry about using fire rockets. So I just use the trident to get around. So this house here, this was not my first house, but for a short period of time, I think it was like a couple of months, around 1.18. Anyway, I think it was between 1.18 and 1.20. I don't remember exactly it was, but I had a time where right, so I had Java Edition, but it was not on it was not on my own computer. I didn't have one at the time. I was playing on my family computer, and I know we really wanted to play on the same world, but I didn't have Rub or anything. I didn't really want to pay for that. So this is not exactly by any means what my house looks like right off, but this is kind of a rough idea of the house that I built on here and around the same area. So it's kind of just I kind of reimagined a little bit what some of the stuff looks like. I guess of the mob heads on here, and there's player heads too. So yeah, I just got a bunch of put a bunch of different resources in here. I didn't really need to, but just made it feel a little bit more immersive. I think this is a pretty cool. You see, there's like a bunch of stuff over there. And then yeah, extra trident, another right pickaxe. Oh yeah, I don't think I actually put my dragon egg down here, but you'll see in a bit with those, if I remember to. So it's kind of just, I don't remember exactly what even my basement area looked like, so kind of just some different stuff I chose, but nothing too complicated. So yeah, that's always the Trident house here. That's the witch hut that I recreated at one point or another. I don't have a black cat or a witch in there, but I do. It's basically the it's basically the structure of the witch hut. I guess turn them all briefly. Yep, and you can't put potions in these. I don't have torches in the structure. I guess the only detail I probably forgot besides the mobs was mushroom in a pot, but I care more about the actual structure itself. Nobody really cares. So this is a Swedish house. I've already done a YouTube tutorial for this. You're not gonna kill me, buddy. Alright, come here, buddy. You wanna fight? You wanna fight? Bring it. Exactly what I thought. So yes, anyways. Yeah, so this is a Swedish house here. Called YouTube tutorial for it. I even made a little flag here too. So I had a time. I think it was 2023 to 2024. I thought I was gonna move to Sweden. I thought I was going to. I was learning Swedish on Duolingo for, I think it was about a year and a half, something like that. It was pretty impressive. And I did okay. I probably, I have a lot of it fade away since I kind of stopped with that, and no, but I thought I'd keep this here. I considered tearing it down, but I was like, it's a historic part. It's a little bit of a personal history thing here, so I'm going to keep that. So let's get on to this area here. Okay, so this was one of the very first caves that I went through here. There's probably still some stuff in there that we got to. If I'm being honest, some of these caves are really, really big. And I'm not gonna go and explore every single one of these caves. But interesting nonetheless. Right, there's a bunch of them over here. If you're also wondering why there's all these extra snow layers, because on Bedrock Edition, the snow layers up like a whole lot more, like in real life. But here on Java, it only does just one layer. And it is a very, very big area. There's a lot of snowy area over here near spawn. And I didn't really want to go through all the work of getting rid of it. So I just decided, you know, I'm just going to keep it and all that. So I had... okay, well, I guess I still do. So I don't have some extra ones over here, but... that makes no sense. Well, okay. I'm genuinely confused because I didn't. Okay. Well, I'm not gonna complain about that. Go to bed. Go to bed. Go to bed. Oh my god. Right. Okay, so yeah, so when I moved this world over, I converted it through Junker, which is an app that, yeah, basically just allows you to convert worlds between Bedrock and Java Edition. I was really, really excited to do that. I know it's been at least it's probably been, I don't know, probably been about a year and a half, something like that, since I did that. I don't know, maybe a little bit longer. I don't know. Well, actually, I converted this world over from Bedrock Edition through Junker over here to Java on December 25th or 26th. I don't know. I stayed up really late for it. Nice. I got my own personal computer at the time. My first one. It's not very good, but I'm glad I used it for a while. It was fun. I still have it, although it really struggles to run the game well. You know, so I played on here for a bunch for a while on there, and it was super fun. It was really cool getting to do a bunch of this stuff on here when there's a world that I'd really known and liked. I'm going to play it here on Java instead of Bedrock, and be able to do the things like, you know, being able to have other items I can put my offhand, better regeneration and stuff. So this is my first village here. So when I converted the world through, one of the things that it mentioned is that it would kill all the mobs, which was really tragic. I really didn't like that, but I didn't really know of any other options at the time of converting the worlds. And the world itself was much more important than most of the mobs that I had. So I took that sacrifice. And then over time, I managed to cure a bunch of zombified villagers. I think I kept some of them over here. I have some over there by the purple tower over there, in that house. Maybe a few others somewhere else. But yeah, this is the first build I had. See, there's a ton of snow over here. Yeah, so I didn't do all the work over here originally at the time, but this was the very first area that I really truly worked on. Made a bunch of these little structures here. I mostly just put random stuff in them, or just, you know, like things like this when I didn't want to go and bother trying to put all the stuff in another chest. I'm kind of using nice little, you know, towers here to chill out from. And they got the Yeah, andesite, tough, copper, and calcite wall. I never actually got around to properly finishing it, but I've kind of just kept it as is. Yeah, all the copper is definitely oxidized since then. And this was, again, like 1.18 or 1.19. I think it was probably 1.18 when I was building this wall, so we didn't have tough bricks and all that yet. And I had a bunch of this, I just want to get rid of it. So I had a bunch of the different villagers around here. I did a ton of trading. The gear that I have on me right now, well, I didn't originally have. It took me a long time before I think it took me a decent while before I got my first tridents. I have several of them on here, and definitely a long time before I got my first base. Considering that it's probably about 2-3 years later when updated to 1.31. Anyways, so I mined out a bunch of ice over here. I didn't really know of any other really great areas around here to mine it, so I just used a bunch of it to construct iceboat pathways and all that. Although I'm kind of regretting it. This area is probably just going to look really weird. I thought I was going to, for whatever reason, I decided, I'm just going to go and bring it all the way down to, the very bottom of the underwater feed. And I don't know. I may or may not do that. I have a bunch of unfinished projects and all that on here. But yeah, I had a bunch of villagers over here. Some of these doors did get broken down because I did quite a few raids for a while. And I moved a bunch of stuff over. I really ought to clean up this area a bit, but I think it's pretty cool. Put some vines on those, make it a little more natural. I didn't finish this one here, I see, but I made my own 2 furnace houses. If you've ever watched the YouTuber IBX2cat, that is who I was inspired by. He really inspired me with a lot of different things that I've done in previous Minecraft Survival Worlds, long-term ones. This is one of his type of ideas, so I kind of just took it from him there. That was the original one, this is the second one I made. So yeah, I had a bunch of villagers that I moved into here for a long while. Had a bunch of the trading stations. That was pretty good business. I had a lot of extra tools and stuff in there. And then I just had this little area here. Yep, and then over here you're just able to, look on out and just, look around and see what stuff around here. Extra bad. So that way, get rid of phantoms. And all that. Yep, so that was that one there. This, you have to verify here, this, first village. This is the closest one, to spawn. So, but funnily enough, so when I told you about the, that house over there, right? So that I did this same world, but, on the same seed, but it was on Java instead of Bedrock at the time. Like I said, the structures were not in parity, but the seeds were, right? So basically all the biomes, all that looked the same pretty much, but the structures do not. So the village was actually like over here, on this hill. That's where it was at. So I really kind of wish I still had that a copy of that world, so I could have, if I'd somehow kept it, I could have showed that around. But so this area, I took a lot of time digging this out. I did most of this digging out with stone pickaxes, and then with my first diamond pickaxe, which is this one here. And like I said, I managed to keep. Well, I don't know with the bow. I've made like several of those, but with the tools, the sword, the armor, all that stuff, right? I've had those for a long time. They were my first ones. I managed to keep them this whole time. Pretty phenomenal. Lava, sugarcane, pumpkins, carrots. There's a whole lot of levels to some of these here. I never got around to updating the light levels on here, which I probably really should have. So when I converted this world, when I started doing a bunch of farming, yeah, a bunch of these just randomly broke. And there's a little weird patches like this. They're missing because of my bunch of ores. But yeah, like I said, I have a lot of stuff over here. I never really got around to properly finishing and all that. Kind of started a little bit of work with, like this for expansion. This particular, I definitely did this work here before I converted this world over. A long time before that. You never heard. Still, somehow never got around to actually fully doing it. I actually had an enchanting setup, dragon egg, a couple of armor stands, extra gear, and even the first iron set and all that over here. But they've since been moved to other areas, and I just kept this nice little space here. Bunch of smelting areas over here, and all that. Oh yeah, so at the time here, when I was making this space, so they hadn't added official like crawling or whatever into Bedrock Edition. We were able to use a trapdoor to put yourself. So like you weren't at the time for most of Bedrock Edition's history, you weren't able to do this. Well, you would have just been, you just would have been like stuck standing and just had this like cutting through your midsection. Super level, but so I originally made this whole thing. I was going to plan on making like a super little area and all that. I used these so I could have lighting. I was going to make like a whole like storage area over here, but I couldn't figure about it. And eventually they did add it. 1.9. So over here, along with all the farms here. Actually, let me just go ahead and show you. This potato one here. This was my pride and joy. I was not inspired by it, but I did consume a lot of potatoes, baked potatoes. This was my main crop for a long time, which is pretty unusual. I was like making sure you knew if I have a bunch of I do have this sugar cane area over here. Oh yeah, at one point I think it was was it? I don't know if it was the last time I was on there or not, but something like that. I think I was trying to clean this up and put a lot of that I even did this too. And over here, I was just mining for a bunch of different stones and all that. I just cleaned out this whole area here. I never got around to it. I think I was an automatic music player and a bunch of crap in here. This thing has pretty much been left untouched ever since I originally built it. It just continues to work pretty much non-stop. I don't have this pretty good. Anyways. Yeah, some of these are the names of this married couple, neighbors of mine a long time ago. So this is the storage area I had. This took a long time to mine this whole thing out. I originally had a bunch of chests here, but it was really lagging my game out. Especially on Bedrock Edition, it's had an issue for the last couple of years where if you have like a lot of storage type chests or something, you know, like chests or something like that, right? Then it's probably pretty likely that, you know, and especially if it had a lot of villagers up and all that. This area was quite laggy, and sometimes I tried to open the chest and it wouldn't respond. Wouldn't let me open it. Would only play the janky animation like probably 5 minutes later after I thought the game finished. So I actually made my own little area down there. That was just originally bare. There was just ores and just a bunch of mobs. But I didn't really like that. I wanted to make something a little bit more warm, lush over here. So that's what I did. Pretty cool. A bunch of random blocks here. I didn't quite finish making this area, but I did most of the work with this base. I think at one point I was kind of just like, fuck it, so I just made all this here and then put it in, but I didn't get around to doing the other side entirely, at least. It took me a while to properly fully design what I wanted, what blocks I wanted to use for this area, because I had different ideas of some stuff I wanted to use, but it would have taken too long. I didn't really feel comfortable mining up for that many those types of resources, so I kind of just wanted to use random stuff I had on hand. It's a bit quirky. Yeah, be a few acre bills. Just a bunch of random stuff I tried to sort. I'm not the most organized on here, but stuff is kind of with other fairly similar things, although on occasion I kind of just throw stuff into the I wouldn't have infinite water down here. I could just look at these random this kind of whole area we can just kind of view down there. It took a lot of glass to do that for sure. I had a bunch of shoulder blocks here before. Had a couple of these areas. Mining areas still. Actually, that worked. First base of this room. And then down there. I guess I'll go ahead and show it. Yeah, I did have a whole mining area down here. I didn't want to do it exactly the same like I had before, so I decided to, design this whole staircase down here. I wasn't planning. I did originally have an idea that I was going to make this a lot larger, so I could just fly down here. Which you can fly down a little bit, but it is kind of tricky. Not had the most amount of success. So yeah, this is the little storage area down here. Originally, the storage area I had upstairs was a lot more modest. It was, again, it was just a handful of chests of probably comparable area. Thank you. Here's the the whole storage area. Yeah, so I did a lot of mining out around here, obviously. So one thing that I did on this, there's this geo right there, but that's cool. There's two of them. Probably quite a few amethyst geodes around here, I reckon. The crystals fully grown like that. Pretty insane. Anyways, yeah, I did. I was gonna actually make. I think I was gonna make this area be. I think I was gonna have like a whole hollowed out chunk thing, except for the ores, and just kind of like showcase that or something, or maybe make some kind of. You know what? Why am I making a privilege down here? Oh, okay. think, yeah, at one point, okay, I did not do this. This must have been one of my friends who played on here at some point. I did not know they made that. Pretty crazy. So, I did have a lot more tunnels going out, but one thing I did on this world was I edited the world file size. I made it smaller, so I cut off a bunch of chunks that I wasn't using. So it kind of made a bunch of ones end off a lot more prematurely, and I actually had them at. Yeah, there was areas like this where I just mined. Was it like all the tough or diorite or something when I wanted to use it for a build. Okay, I thought that went out further, but I guess not. I guess that area got deleted or something, so never mind. I had a whole lush cave over there that I use sometimes, like a couple furnaces, another portal, and that stuff. But I didn't really build too much over there, so not too big a loss. But I probably should just use the. I didn't need to do that. Yeah, just use a trident to get around. It's a lot faster. And I have the mod on here for that reason. Sorry, trying to make sure I drink some water. That would have done something, but nope, it didn't do much anything. I guess this was my first base area. I had to build this ice boat pathway. I didn't do this one until definitely a little while after I built the second base area, a little over there. Explore this stuff here. So, well, actually, this lower one I did build a lot earlier. I definitely did that when World War Heroes was holy frick. Oh my god. See if I can please. There's definitely a lot of times where there's too many mobs on here. Because this is a tower I built. I planned on making a bunch more of them, but I never did. But essentially they're just going to be. I was just going to use up a bunch of the chorus fruit I got and obsidian. Just mainly use gold ones. I only have just the one. But it's going to be a really good way for people to be able to, come up really fast, see kind of all the stuff I got built around here. Well, suck if you want to get down. Well, I guess besides the ladder. But if you'd be like, you have to MLG to get back down. It's also going to be a really good way, I think, for me to be able to use the trident if I try to get around. Little lava area that brother had. I made it a little bit bigger. I was planning on making a lot more here, but never got around to it. So this is his water area. He also used kelp as fuel a bunch of times for a while. So there was not originally all these extra villager guys in here, at one point when I made secure a bunch of zombie villagers around here, and then I brought them on over. I guess I could technically make an iron farm. So this was my brother's area that he had. He didn't really build like ton of decoration or anything, but he had started there. And I've come in here many times. I've taken some stuff out, moved things around, all that. Yeah, he had a pretty nice area here. Really like this little thing here. Oh yeah, one of the random funny things that happened when I completed this world over is it also changed a ton of the banners. It was like I had Illadur banners, just made them all black. For whatever reason. It's weird. Yep, and then so you just got a nice little area around here. I planted some flowers over here for him. He grew a bunch of sugar cane, little crops here. He normally does farming like this. I really like this river here, so I ended up putting conduit here. There's the conduit that I had here is actually in a different place. I had a ton of hardwood seed, but I didn't have enough Nautilus shells. So I just bone meal this area a lot. Made it look a lot prettier. And all that. So it's pretty cool. It's really nice that you can grow mangrove trees everywhere. Like that. So I just planted a bunch of them over here. This is when I got my first couple mangrove propagules. I actually didn't get to find the proper biome itself until much later. I got them from one of the trade reviews. This area took a long time, a lot of resources to make. So this area here was pretty hilly. So I basically just cut out all the dirt and all that. See, there's still blocks like this that I never got around to fixing. Literally glitched out when I converted the world over. So this is supposed to be like a pretend sort of nether area. No, I do not put lava and all these little spots here. It's not 100% accurate or anything, but you get the rough idea. You know, kind of what the nether or this area would be like. So, yeah, kind of a little different thing here. A lot of different biomes and all that. Main biomes for a little nether fortress. I had a ton of furnaces all over the place. Around here, I used to smelt stuff up. I had some chests over here. I think, fortunately, I actually got around to mining them and putting all the stuff over there at one point. Yeah, nothing too special, I don't think, but let me just go in. Yeah, so obviously it's not exactly what another fortress would look like, to say the least, but kind of a little bit creative interpretation. I guess I never got around to putting the wall in there. Yeah, so this would be area we have to spawn at. Once you realize the dimensions of this are not alright, and it doesn't have a wall and all that, but I think it looks a little bit nicer. That kind of stuff. Probably some other things I was going to do here, but I kind of forgot about it. I think I was a little tired, probably. I started this little house over here, but I never really got around to building a lot more of it. It was supposed to be inspired by, somewhat designed by a house that I had on 1.16 Survival World quite a few years ago. But I think another thing I was inspired by IBX Soapy Cat. I just made an absolutely giant sugarcane farm. Really no need for me to, but you know, very cool. And it was also really nice to get all that sugarcane and dirt out of the chest. So yeah, it was pretty crazy. Pretty crazy stuff. It's over here. Have a little pathway kind of carving through these trees, leading to this building here. I think I've never really properly finished. Like I said, a lot of things I've never really finished here. I didn't want to do just the normal blocks with this entirely. I wanted to have more texturing. Probably, maybe a bit too much. I don't think the graphics really fully work, but whatever. Bunch of stuff I just kept in the chest here that I was going to use to continue building here. So my brother actually originally started this area from my request. He did the floors. He did a little bit of the walls here, but he didn't really quite get around to finishing all that. So I added all this other stuff. All these cobwebs, just take a look at bandits and see if I hadn't really used it. Still love it. I didn't want all the mobs spawning in here. Nice little library area. This could be, you know, workshop area, all that, kitchen. What's this was what I had here? That made a copper golem. I originally voted for the outlay, but I think that copper golem was pretty cool model and it's super popular, so I made a little thing over here. I also made a diamond sword, made a Swedish flag, thing over here that says Minecraft. A nice little text. I definitely made this little part after I only made this little part here after I what are you saying? After I converted the world over. Okay, it's still recording. I got a weird little noise in my computer. I thought I would stop. But so this is the wall of, you know, why I preferred Java Edition over Bedrock. So maybe there's some stuff on here I probably need to update and all that. And there's probably a lot more I didn't include on here, but just some stuff that I made here. A little more sugarcane space, couple cows, another random little house used. You know, we got the I never really got around to it, but yeah, they added the cactus flowers here. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, I didn't really notice that was there. A bunch of sweet berries. Nice guest house, you know, super basic. A bunch of random shit in there. This is a very cringe attempt at a pig stone house. So you know, there's a Lego set where Alex, she has a gold shovel and she has this like giant pig house. All that. There's like a creeper in the set too. Obviously, that's obviously not a pig. What the fuck is that? You know, just some weird ass creature thing, and you can swim up through here, and yeah, you can be up here and just look at the random ass stuff I got here. Just a little tail. I made my own little custom chicken farm. Well, egg farm, I should say. So if you, I mean, like, you know, if you never get a few eggs, I don't have to worry about the prices of the eggs going up because I got plenty out here. So I had a ton of chickens. Yeah, a ton of chickens in here. Somehow this guy got up here and I just got these two random blocks. I just slapped them down here. Made my own little custom Amethyst geode. I didn't get around to just using a Silk Touch tool to try to move some of the clusters or anything like that. I didn't know if it's possible. I don't think. So I just made this here. There's no calcite, fortunately. Yeah, a bunch of cherry trees. There's a lot of the tree types here. I just got from watering traders, and some other random stuff like the cocoa beans and all that. So yeah, kind of just made a whole area over here of those. 1.20 came out. I played on this world a bunch, and you know, we got bamboo wood. So I just grew a bunch of bamboo over here. And I wanted to make a house where pretty much almost everything was made out of just bamboo, which has been mostly successful. Was definitely not very, definitely not very exciting. But these stone blocks here, kind of going around for a while. I made my own little parkour course. It's pretty cool. And I actually had this whole farm area that expanded on over to that point over there. But one of the many times that I trimmed this world, I accidentally trimmed it way too close over here, so it accidentally deleted a mob farm I had, like right over there. I had a little bit of deep dark ancient city stuff that I built over here. You know, I had a lot more in the farm space, so yeah, I had to be a little more careful with that. Yeah, I had some just random things I built over here. There was, I don't remember exactly where it's at, but I had an ancient city, so boy was I surprised when I came back on this road. Realized I accidentally trimmed that space, so that was pretty bad. I've got a little, there's trees going around here. Got a makeshift in place, just got a ton of chorus fruit stuff here. So here I started this lovely thing. I was gonna, the whole floating island thing, base, all that. It's pretty quiet, pretty big idea for it. When I used to be watching these kind of blocks. So a long time ago, on the world I had, I think it was also 1.16, might have been the same world I was talking about earlier. I don't know, maybe it was a different one. I had a whole sky base. It was super sick. And I remember one time I was remaking it because I wanted to use blackstone for it. It took a lot of effort. I built some pretty cool stuff on that one though. Shame I don't have any longer. But I think I was trying to do some other stuff around that time, I think, too. I got bored, I don't know. And I ended up just putting all the rest of the stuff in there. Oh, there was also a pillager outpost. Probably all the way over there, I don't know. There was one over there, but maybe. So this has been my first base area. Pretty much. There's a few little things I forgot to take a look at those real quick. Some of the stuff up here I didn't make until I moved this world over. I guess I've just been using the infinite rail duping here. This has been pretty insane, not gonna lie. So this way, I didn't have to deal with, you know, the problem of trying to mine for too much iron. I didn't really have an iron farm for a long time, especially because when I was playing, most of the time I played this world was on Bedrock Edition, and on Bedrock Edition, setting an iron farm is like a lot more work, because you need, like, instead of 3 villagers in like a very small, like, comfortable area, you need like at least 20 villagers. And it's just a lot more work, and it's quite painful. But I remember when I got some Niffer eggs, yeah, put them here. These guys. Tried to escape a few times, so I had to put them down over here. Pathway I made. This was church that well, the only church that I made out here, but yeah, pretty basic design overall. Just had some extra random stained glass, so I just used that. Get baptized. And all that here, so just the other one little piece of religion thing I had on here. That was pretty cool, and nice to have a little more of you know, personal stuff on here. So Oh yeah, at one point when I did have one of my friends come on here, they were messing around with me for quite a while, and then one point they decided to make an iron farm. So they did it over here, and surprised they kept the shovel in there, but whatever. Just gonna toss that junk in there and do that. Yeah, I don't think it was perfect, but it's still nice to have a little bit of extra iron up here. So this whole thing here at Copper River, so if the you know, the restaurant is called Copper River. Me being the person that I am, I was pretty pissed when I learned that we didn't actually have a physical Copper River. So I made one. I mean, again, it's a pretty small one. I don't know if you really consider it as a river, but you know, the weird thing is the water's like glitched out because it's like stair blocks and all that. But so this was a chunk area that I mined out. I don't think this is actually on chunk borders. Yeah, no, it's not. I was pretty sad when I converted this world over, used this, and I was like, nope, it's across like 4 different chunks, you know? This one being the biggest one here, but it was definitely worth it. I got a ton of resources from it. You know, it was a pretty fun project that I did. Took a lot of mining. This was one of the last few things that I think I did before I converted this world over. Yeah, that's my miserable attempt to kill the creeper there. Yeah, so this ice pathway here, it actually went on much longer. I had a whole like village area over there that I made with some zombified villagers. I had a statue of myself. I know, so humble. I had a skeleton statue. I had a whole like automatic bamboo farm, and that thing was like insane. It took a shit ton of iron for it, I'm not gonna lie, for all the rails and hoppers and all that. But it was pretty good. It was very high quality. And I had some floating islands. I had a couple other farms. I had a bunch of beehives over there too. A bunch of stuff. But unfortunately, at one point the world was temporarily corrupted a bit. Something happened. And ended up deleting that. I was really pissed about it. It was horrible. I think it was also the time that it deleted the deep dark area that had super far away from here. That was not intentional. This whole thing here happened way before I even ever trimmed the world. But I think it was kind of the thing that gave me the idea to do it. So make this world a little bit more playable, not be a little bit less stressful on my computer. This house here that I made here. This is again not a one-for-one exact idea what it looks like by any means, but kind of a rough idea what my younger brother's house looked like when we used to play on the Xbox One edition. We actually still have the world. It's not on my account. We played on my dad's account at the time. This is one of the few things from that era that I decided to recreate. There's not really a ton of actual stuff in here. And he had a bunch of other things. He had a bunch of paintings. He had a bunch of flowers, garden pots, all that around here. This was his bed space. I bet it was a lot smaller. This area up here was not actually originally in the build. He didn't have anything like this, but I decided to add it on top, and it's pretty nice addition. There are some stairs here, so that's what I'm able to do. Big melt chests. Nice little view. Nice little flower pots. He had a pretty basic building design at the time. Now, I think he actually originally had it was just 2 blocks tall for this whole area. I decided to do his slabs just a little bit nicer. But yeah, he had a bunch of like iron gear this was a little area he had coming out down around here. This is not at all the world that we played on by any means. We had a ton of other stuff. It'd be really cool to, if I ever get the chance to get the whatever the thing is that I need for it, to hook up our Xbox to my computer here. I could actually probably show you all that particular survival world. It's still on there, so pretty crazy. Yep, and just had a bunch of caves over here, and probably we're portal. So this is my first base area that I had. There's actual proper ice built pathway. And then during my time with that Brave Bridge, I decided that, you know what, I wanted to start again in this, but I didn't want to delete this world or whatever. I didn't want to try to make another one. So I decided, you know, I'm going to keep the same world, but I'm just going to put all my stuff in the chest. I'm going to go to a different area. So that's what I did. I thought I came out a lot further, but unfortunately, yeah, no, it's not really that far away. Really not too far away from Earth space area. So anyways, yeah, this here, mob farm, works pretty good. Get a ton of stuff. Underwater area I made. Have an underwater maze here. There. Planted a bunch of different random things I found. There was not actually any kelp around here. I decided to do that, make it a little more lively. I planted all this. It's supposed to look like algae or something. You know. Oh yeah, I also put a mod that makes impaling like better on conditions. So basically, you just do extra damage towards anything underwater, which is pretty cool. A little of underwater lighting here. Made this little submarine. There's nothing really in it, but it's still pretty cool. Took a lot of copper though. So this was a nice little lighthouse that I made here. This took a little bit of work to do, but it wasn't too bad. At one point, this guy randomly just decided to come up here and die, so I'd been up here. Yeah, I played at one point, and yeah, I pretty much just never reset some of these villagers' trades, so they're pretty much always just stuck not being able to do that, which is pretty shit. But I happened to be playing during that time. So this area here, this was a nice little special that I worked on somewhat. So before I go in here, I should say this is really nice. This is like a decorational area for random stuff. So I don't think I had every single one, but I had a bunch of the painting types in here, and a bunch of the mob heads. Yeah, even a lot of these ones here I had to rename something with the name tag, and then the mob would change its appearance, and I'd be able to get the heads. Some of the, of course, I have all the vanilla ones in here. Again, I have like a ton of these. Some of these took a while to get, so they're pretty rare chances. Have these two. All the slime heads. This took a lot of name tags, but it was worth it. I didn't really want to kill villagers, but there was one time I was really pissed off with them. Some of them ended up killing too, and got their heads here. Yep, 2 sheep types. Yeah, kind of just organized based on everything. So you kind of nether over here, illagers, and then like underwater, and then the regular mobs, like the skeleton zombies and all that. And then, you know, I'm just gonna go ahead and show. But, yep, I even got myself a nice little warden head. Pretty insane. Let me go ahead and, you know, go ahead and. I was planning on making a whole complicated contraption here for this to kind of like reveal it, but never did. But yeah, I have managed to kill a warden on here only once. It did kill me twice in the process, but it was well worth it to get some pretty sick head of the most OP mob, arguably, in the game. So yeah, pretty cool. All the rest of the slime heads, yeah, I got a bunch of those. Another nice thing with those is because when you killed slime, if you killed like a big slime, it split, you know, it had a name tag on it. All the ones that can, you know, if you kill like a, you know, the really big ones that split into the smaller slimes, well, they'd also have the name tag, so you're basically able to just get a bunch of the mob heads. And I think it was, I want to say, not the yellow one here, but this one, the golden one. This was given to me once I got all the other ones, kind of like trophy item. In here, I didn't have all of them, but again, a bunch of the music discs. So this is most of them. Yep, that's totally music disc. Nice little Steve head. Yep, so this is a nice little museum sort of area that I made. Kind of collect, yeah, showing like collectibles there. So that's what they're here. This is gonna be a muddy pig kind of area, but I didn't actually end up having that. At one point, I decided, you know, fuck it, I'm just gonna let the pigs go. You know, they've been in there long enough. That makes me doing it. So I did, again, I think I got a wandering trader come by here, so I, again, just planted some different ones here. But this is actually naturally a cherry grove biome. So this was the first farm I made over here. Pretty big. Sheep, cows, chickens. I pretty much only had the 3 crops. There's potatoes, wheat, and pumpkins. Got potatoes from the zombie and the Easter I just found out here. I didn't really do a ton of exploring at the time. I was mostly just focused on just kind of enjoying building over here. A bunch of flowers. Made a little bamboo area over there. Check out some bamboo. A wandering trader. A little sugar cane. Another massive sugar cane here at the Canadian farm right there. Another one of many places I've considered moving to. I made the flag. Pretty good mining area. I'm not gonna go through all of there. It has a lot of loops and tunnels and all that, but pretty good. I actually, for a time, I had the whole thing over here where I was trying to. I managed to find like, I think it was like a mob or two had like chainmail armor. Now when you come back, once I had like a looting sword or something, try to get it. I think a creeper blew them up though. This was the house that I made. This was like this and the farm were like the first. I think this was the very first thing that I made when I was over here. I remember taking the time to do that, mining all this, you know, the stuff out with, you know, stone and iron tools. It was pretty fun. You know, this is again the second base area. So Jasper and Tugger, these are names of you know, real dogs of mine, and then the yellow and white ones, just extra ones there. This is a random axe I managed to find. I managed to get in a trial chambers around here. Decided to keep it. Pretty cool. Bunch of different stuff around here. That I have a ton of extra food. Yeah, so I was a little bit better organized with this place. Not perfectly, but it was a lot better.
Oh yeah, and then I've had several extra sets worth of netherite gear and all that. So I've basically just swapped all this stuff out a bunch of times. Sometimes I even forget. I've probably forgotten that I have all this stuff in here most of the time. Yeah, I have
A good couple of different shields that I've made. Yeah, a bunch of extra diamond gear. Obsidian. Where all you got the obsidian first, because I mined out a few of the towers in the end. It took a while. So to concrete, you know, a couple more extra mob heads that I had at the time.
Since you can't really see it that well, but it's exploration base kit.
So I could just give up some. I originally had this ender chest, but realized I'm not actually going to use that. So I didn't. But I'm going to take these out. Whatever. Yeah, now a bunch of these is took a lot of cores for all of that. Yep, definitely time to mine a bunch of mining on this world. So this was a nice little area that I used a bunch, especially when I was sorting out my materials and all that. I'd just be cooking up like my potatoes or chicken or something right there. Doing that. I had a couple chests here, but I mined them out, placed it somewhere else. And then yeah, this is a little extra. This is my bedroom area that I had. I really, as if you couldn't tell, I really like purple. So I put the extra one of these up here. So first sword, first pickaxe. I don't know if I actually made it on here, but
yeah, it's a personal kit. I accidentally somehow, completely by accident, I duplicated whole shulker box somehow. I don't know how it happened, but it did. So I just, had a bunch of all this extra stuff here, but I was not gonna complain about that. First pickaxe. Let me go ahead and diver. Keep I don't know if it really matters, but get potion kit. Just random extra stuff, and then what was this? Oh yeah, random extra gear for myself. I think I probably completely forgot about the fact that I don't think I really need to worry about that too much. But anyways, yeah, pick step. Disc here. I put this mob here because this was one of the few mobs that ever managed to kill me on this world in full netherite. So there's been only 2 mobs that ever been able to do that, and that's been the Warden and the Stray. So I've hated strays ever since. These guys have been a pain in the ass on this world. Random diamond axe I got, and then this was a random diamond sword I enchanted. Lord of the Rings reference here. Purple frog light, and these took a long time to get. And then yep, that was one of my friends on here, and this was the one that was messing with me. I was telling you all about. So I naturally killed them a good few times, collected a bunch of their heads. So there I do have silence armature that took a long time to get. Dragon eggs. I guess there was a duplication glitch on here. On Bedrock, when it was on Bedrock Edition, at the time, during 1.20, where you were able to do a whole gravity block thing with drip leaves and lag them out, and it would basically just spew out a bunch of extra gravity blocks. So originally people were going to be using it for like, if you want to do it for like anvils pearls, or stuff like that. But I was like, no, Ender Dragon, eggs here count. So I'm just gonna get a bunch of extra of those, so I never have to worry about losing them. Because I did accidentally lose the dragon egg previous long-term survival world, which was pain. Because there was no other way for me to get it back, especially because it was Bedrock Edition, right? You weren't able to, use cheats with, and be able to still get achievements. And so I just had to deal with that. This is the house I had a couple of zombified villagers in, but these idiots decided to kill themselves at one point. So, yep, they're all dead. And then, yep, got myself a nice little Pale Garden. So, one of the 2 or 3 videos that I've ever had on this world was me when I think it was the day that the update came out, or right after. But it was 1.21.4. The Pale Garden, released and all that. So I went out. I found a Pale Garden not too far away from here. Made this area, just going me on all this shit. So. Yeah. So, got myself a couple of these guys. I didn't know that you were actually able to make more of the Creaking Hearts, which is pretty crazy. I did not know that until, I think it was last month, I believe. This is an enchanting area I got here. So this was pretty nice. I really liked it. Double bunk beds, nice little carpet. Enchanting setup, bunch of books, all that here. Alright, this is a random piece of Nether I've had forever. It's running all these good XP balls from. Let's go in just a minute. Yep, and then a lot of enchanting books. Managed to find all kinds of different travels, adventures. It says yes, I had an X command block here, so I'm gonna say real quick, I've really not used commands that much in this world, but at one point, I think I had this world on realms, because I wanted to try Java realms again, so I did that for a month or 2, and I used that. I used this just to get a bunch of XP, because I didn't have a mob farm set up at the time, and it was really painful, and so I just basically used this just to give myself XP balls. The whole thing here with the zombie here, so I had a whole idea with the Minecraft story a long time ago. I actually think it'd be really fun if I tried to make that whole thing again, or maybe read that story out to you all. Me and my brother came up a long time ago. I think it was elementary school, I was saying. Anyways, the main villain of the story was a zombie called Doc. He had like full gold gear and gold sword. And so when I found this guy, I was like, naturally, I had to capture him, put him in here. It's just been a fun part of this area over here. I got it right. Yep, made myself a nice little railway here. A bunch of beehives. Yep, and then started a little furnace biome over here. Another thing inspired by Ibex, so we got a bunch of those guys just roaming around. Lava lake. And then another parkour course, which is 3 kilometers over there. Took a little while to make. I want it to be especially longer than the last one. So this pillager outpost I actually made entirely from scratch. It didn't really take that long, but it was pretty cool. I'm glad I did. Got myself a little
little friend here. Focus crossbow. Oh, there. This is, I guess, second part of this tour here. I don't know, or maybe I might have this be. Maybe I'll have this be in the same video as the last part. It's been a couple days since I last recorded, at least with here. And I just very briefly looked over my last recording here, and I had, so I kind of just knew where I was leaving off. So yeah, I made this villager outpost from scratch. Here didn't take too long. Again, I didn't really put any of the stuff in there. I didn't really think to do that. But yeah, pretty cool. I'm glad I did that. I wanted to build more structures on here. From scratch and all that. That'd be super cool. But I wanted to start with one of the easier ones. So that's what I'm doing. So I got this little ice web pathway. I haven't really properly finished it. Need to get more ice. But yeah, this was an actual one. So the one that I mentioned in the last part, that was near spawn, all the way over there, I think. Most of that, the one that was closer to the ground, it was just one block wide. So when I built that thing originally, I thought it was going to be long enough for me to be able to use like a boat or whatever, or to sprint really fast and all that. But it was really weird, and like the walls were kept getting in the way. We kept like banging into them. So I just decided, you know what, I'm just going to make actual ice boat pathway, even if it costs a little bit more. Sorry, so this is the pride and joy of this area over here. Don't mind the broken don't mind the broken nether portal. Actually, let me go ahead and let them go. Kind of, I forget if I don't think I showed any of mine. Actually, you know what? I'll hold off on that. So, yeah, this is my PvP arena here. I did actually have two of my friends playing here at one point when I invited them both up here to try it out. Stay plays a bunch of copies. I decided to leave it because I'm one character, but I might make them back up. So this took a lot of resources to do, a lot of resources to make, as you can tell. But I was pretty proud of it. It took me quite a few hours, to say the least. But yeah, I just like a bunch of extra gear and all that in there. People to practice with. Now I didn't have a proper like stair area. I'll kind of a little more talk about more the layout of this area. So these back spaces here, called the gravel and stone. These are kind of imagined more as where you could kind of do like the practice fighting before you go to like the real arena here. Or if you were like, you know, if you're doing like a group fight or something like that, you could have like a pep talk or something, you know, like that stuff. Oh yeah, this is like the actual main arena here. So I didn't have an actual like that. I forgot to make one. But, this little room here, this is kind of where you'd have a bunch of people just watching. And so I myself, I would come up here, or as some designated person that I would have, and you know, I might do this whole thing to be like if I was to use a server or something like that, you know. Right, then I would flick this, and okay, it's not supposed to do that. Did it? Oh. Whoops. It's embarrassing. Easy real quick. Need more chests. Dang it. basically, I would flick this, and this would kind of commence like the start, or maybe even an end of the match. Alright, so this whole redstone thing, it took me a good couple of tries to get it set up. So it would go off fast enough, but not too fast. But yeah, this took a lot of work. Pretty proud of it though. I really like it. I think I did a pretty good job. And it kind of just a little goofy, goofy little colored statues. Yeah. So I had the ideas of making a lot more of these like PvP or battle arenas across my world. For example, I'd have one that would be more like crystal PvP themed, or like something like that, and the Nether or the End. But I haven't done that yet. Plus, this took a long time. It took a lot of resources. I felt kind of tired after doing it. But again, maybe at some point in the future, I might do more of these. I try to add a lot of different little details. You know, all the buttons, all the pressure plates, all the little flowers and pots, and mob heads and lanterns and all that good stuff. Then over here, this would be kind of where I just have some more kind of fun builds. Most of the stuff over here is kind of just like entertainment stuff. It's not mostly like practical things. So I made this house here. I think it was a terribly long time after I did that, but I think it was like a week or two, something like that. Yeah, so I had done a bunch of practice, like building creative on a world with my brother on a Superflat and Bedrock Edition, and so basically just had to work with building like with different blocks and all that to make a house. And this one I didn't do that random selection. This is more like deliberate with all the color choices. But yeah, I think it looks pretty cool. Not super complicated design, but I think it works really well. I just wanted to do a little different color palette than they normally have. I'll put these bows in there. Little mob head there. Stuff up here I didn't really fully decorate. You know, there's no carpets or more like elaborate stuff in here, but I think it works. It's pretty cool. This one here is just based on the random blocks thing here. So I just did some random different selection ones. That's what I got. I didn't really fully finish. Back here and there, I still had all this cherry wood stuff. I have probably quite a few spots around this world where I just kind of left a whole bunch of stuff in like a chest or shoulder blocks or something. Kind of embarrassing, but it's fine. I didn't finish it yet, and honestly, I don't know, maybe I might do it differently, but I was starting a statue of my original skin, which, again, it looks like, not watching my videos, looks like this one here. This is my original skin that I wore here on YouTube. Now, this is not my original Minecraft skin, like, ever. I've worn a lot of different ones before this, but, kind of what I settled on, so kind of having to be like the thing of my first like official, you know, like video Minecraft character and all that, but obviously it's not complete. Yep, the whole long parkour course thingy here, it starts over here, and again, yeah, I'm not the best at parkour, as you can see there. Speaking of parkour, I made these two little fun towers challenge. So this one here would be the easier one. So you have water at the bottom here, right? And yeah, pretty much you just have to climb all the way up there to the top. I'm not going to try to do the whole thing up here, but it would be kind of fun if I did. But anyways, the point would be that so once you get up here, right, then
maybe there'd be some kind of like reward or chest or something. I don't know. Or maybe just bragging rights. And you could jump over the slime blocks to get back down. I also made this other tower here, which is the hard level one. It has lava at the bottom. Now basically what I would do, I was thinking in both of these, is that, right, so I have to keep inventory on this world, I think. And, but if I didn't, right, I would basically, actually, well, I guess whatever the case, basically just say, alright, put your stuff in here, alright, and then I just turn the game to adventure mode, and then have like a bed or something over here, so people can start to spawn, they keep all their stuff safe, they don't lose any of that. Right, and then they'd be in adventure mode so that way they can't find the blocks, that kind of stuff. And I just try to complete this, but then whenever they're done, I just change it back to survival, pick all this stuff and go. Same thing here. This one here was, a little bit more chaotic, as you can tell. I tried to do this one myself a couple of times in the last. I think I came on here once or twice a couple of weeks ago, near the end of school, and yeah, I tried to do this. It was pretty insane with some of these blocks. Pretty crazy. One trader here. I don't really. If it wasn't super flat, this would be amazing, because, 2 new wood types. I would have built some of those in case I wanted any. Flowers are okay. That one's kind of trash, but that one would be pretty cool. These are both fairly good trades. The only annoying thing is super flat. It takes a while to even get some bucket and all that, but water bottles I think is a pretty good one. Although I kind of wish they were just glass bottles. Because that way you could just trade the bottles you could directly from anyways. So this has been the overall. Well, actually I didn't fully. No, say there's a few things I didn't just yet. Yeah, so this, don't mind all the mobs. Just going past this here. So, this area real quick here, so there was a time where Smite really ended, he was on here, and I didn't want to be on here. This is his little base that he made at the time. Pretty small. Pretty simple, a bunch of random stuff. Kind of got a few rows. I forget all the stuff he's going to put in here. And then this whole thing, this just leads to his mining area. There's also a deep dark, and there's geode. So he already looted Ancient City down there. And then over here, into it, that little pathway there, that goes into a trial chambers. I didn't really build anything in there, so this isn't really crazy to show, but basically just had this whole minecart pathway with that. I don't think I showed the nether yet. Advanced this little thing here where we got the advancement for shooting from super far away. Which is pretty cool. Just decided to keep that there. Yeah, and then this thing here, I don't know why I decided to end it there. I probably should have just continued it to the actual. Maybe we brought it down, maybe wanted to wrap it around or to the farm there or something. But regardless. So I was planning on building some more stuff this area, but I didn't really get to it. I mostly just cut down a bunch of trees over here that I used for stuff, especially PvP. Got a
this is a nice little space that I made when I was trying to gather some more resources, some of the, especially the stones for the PvP arena. And so I thought, you know, maybe I'll go and mine another chunk, right? Another chunk area. But you know, I didn't want to just have it be just a giant gaping hole. I wanted to look like there was some kind of story or something going on here. So that's why I did need a little bit of scaffolding, a couple things. It kind of looks like, you know, this is sort of a work area in progress, you know, kind of a mining site, all that. You know, you can cook a bunch of food here, you know, all good stuff. Not a complicated design. It's also a really nice way for me to have a storage space for all that, since I've got a lot of them, you know, from this. And then this area over here is kind of some of the extra miscellaneous stuff that I would use. In this area, you know, with some redstone on that too, and then just not the stuff. Nice little bed there. And then, yep, this is the area that I had made. So I originally did a whole. I didn't finish this, obviously. You can actually tell there's a trial chambers down there, so that made it a little more interesting. So I didn't really know what to fully do with that, but I guess I'll just go down there. So I made this whole lovely bubble pump. This took a load of work, especially trying to get it rid of the slabs here, so that way it would be dark. But you got a little beacon. Yeah, and then actually I forgot I had that choker box down here. And then I decided, you know what? Maybe instead I'll try to hollow out like a massive area around the trial chambers. Have it exposed. I thought that'd be super cool, but I don't think I really fully understood how much work that would be. And I know it doesn't look like a ton over here, but believe me, it took a little bit to do. I think along these sides, yeah, there was a bit more kind of cut out. But yeah, if I wanted to have the whole thing exposed, it'd be a lot. So I don't know, maybe I was considering having just like a giant glass roof or something over here. I don't know. But regardless of the case, this was, yep, a very active work in progress area that I had going. Yeah, I just wanted to have these guys just a little faster than this guy. So yeah, this has been pretty much the overworld spaces that I had. Again, I think I might have mentioned it before in the last part, but I did have a few other areas in my overworld, but they accidentally got deleted or something like that. So yeah, unfortunately, you know, it's been it's pretty sad that I don't have that luxury, but I'm glad that most of the stuff still survived. I managed to build a lot more. This is a goofy little dirt house. I didn't put anything else in here other than just a bunch of random carpet for my sheep. But yeah, a little goofy dirt house here. That's a classic Minecraft staple to make. I think I might have said it, but I was planning on making a dog house over here, but I didn't really finish it, obviously. So yeah, I guess it's time for me to go to the Nether, I suppose. So where did I have my? Oh, it's probably over here. So
Yep, I just kept it. I just kept some extra stuff in here. Wasn't actually going to use most of this myself. It was just kind of nice little thing. So I kind of so the whole thing with ruined worlds in the game, you know, pretty cool structure and all that. But you know, oh yeah, no, I think I understand it, but a little bit. It's very bad, but you know, a little lava lake there, right here. You know, from the whole Nether theme, also gonna have lava. You know, and love farm here. Wait, did I? Sorry, I'm getting distracted again. But hey, here's a map. But a couple of maps that I had of this area. It might have not been updated for a bit, but I hadn't really been on here for a while, so there's probably nothing real too much. I really like the idea of having a lot more of the big map spaces, but it takes a little while to make all the stuff and then go around and have it all exact, especially because it's kind of hard to get one map to line up exact with another one. So here's a little nether portal here made. So I had this stuff here. I could probably just get rid of this for real. Yeah, I had these here. I had these here, so that way there's much more in this house before they decide to kill themselves. Basically just prevent them from going to the nether there, because I did accidentally have that happen once or twice. So yeah, little thing here. Got this little show. Although ironic. Oh yeah. There's another portal like right there. So I got a bunch of the Crimson Forest nearby. I really like having an intersection between the two forests. These are my two favorite nether biomes. By far. Whole rail thing going through here, although unfortunately I didn't bring Minecraft with me. And oh yeah, I planted a bunch of these regular mushrooms. I thought that'd be super funny. Plus, I'd done it before in a previous survival world. I thought kind of cool to bring that back. Made my own little, here you go, real path up here. I made my own little lava pool. I got a beacon. I forget exactly what I was trying to do here, but some kind of little pathway to this area. But I didn't really do that. I did have a chicken coop over here at one point, but I don't have the eggs in there. But I moved them. I think it was either I moved them or I just killed them. I forget exactly what it was, but probably had a bunch of eggs, so I probably just steal all of them because I didn't need to. It was also lagging in this area pretty badly at the time. So I got a couple of cows here. This is another beacon there. This is my nether base. This one is actually not my own design. Admittedly, this is design I saw on YouTube. I really would like the idea of having another base. I've done it before a couple of times, but the earliest ones that I had were not really that impressive or interesting or anything like that. And then this one here and the one I had in my last survival world, last major survival world, which was Bedrock Edition as well. Both of the designs super cool, but they're from YouTube. But if I can remember what if I bother to figure it out after just finish recording this, I'll put their names in here, so you can check them out, check the names out of the creators of these. Okay, so so this that was actually my name on Hoopla. there we go. So that was my gamer tag on here for a very brief amount of time. That's based on one of my story ideas. Not the Minecraft one I talked about in the last part, the Adopt a Zombie. It's a completely different one. But yeah, so I had time. So this was, I think this was, I think if I talked about it in the last part, this was the day that I said, you know what, put all my stuff away in here, you know, and then I just, you know, ran off into another area in the overworld. I think I went through this portal, something like that. You know, and then I found the Cherry Grove biome and just started again. There, I did that for a while. I think I did for a couple of weeks before I decided to come back here and allow myself to take stuff from here and, you know, and then eventually, you know, reusing my first gear set and all that. But, so this was my first pickaxe, my first sword. Wait, or did I have them in the chest? Well, whatever the case, I had them somewhere. I forget if it was exactly. I could have sworn I named the ones that I had, but regardless. Oh yeah, so this was yeah. So actually, I'll show you in a bit. Yeah, I had another different portal there. These were what. This was the gear that I use in my second area, so I kind of just been carrying it around, and I just kept it in that chest there for a bit. But this is the stuff I had. It was super fun using it. I really liked it. But of course, I'm going to wear my first gear set. At some point, I was planning on making some kind of memorial or some kind of not memorial, whatever, museum or something for, you know, different kinds of stuff like that. I did have a couple more of these enchanted diamond armor sets around here, but one or two of my friends when they're on here, the one that showed you the player head of earlier, not the Steve ones. Yeah, they came in here. They were just messing with me. They actually threatened to burn a couple of my items, which I was really not happy about, but unfortunately they didn't do it. But they took a few of the pieces. It's a really shame that happened. But yeah, it's kind of bullshit. I had a bunch more potions than he wanted. Yeah, this also thing here was not in the original design, but kind of still a fun thing. You just come in here, splash yourself some fire reds, you know, or you know, get yourself a random golden. There's a lot of things not in the original design either, but kind of nice. I mean, you can't really see much anything out of it, but still have it. Especially for us and be like, let me go around and what about a place like a chest or something? And, you know, spots, I don't know. Whatever my reasoning was. I mean, a little bit of a farm here, where, you know, you can't place water here in the nether. Yeah, crops are just kind of stuck doing this pretty slowly, but it's alright. Just before I go. So, this was the day that I signed off here. This is you know, this is pretty historic for me, because this is I was kind of recognizing that I didn't really know what to do in this world, and I was really getting into speedrunning and like shorter term challenges. So I decided, you know, I'm not going to delete this world, but I'm going to remove it from my game files. I'm going to upload it
onto my website, and I'm also going to, I'm going to keep a copy of it, my computer, I OneDrive, so that way didn't have to worry about it. I had a couple different ways that I had saved up all that good stuff. But yeah, this was the day I left here. I actually had a bunch of I basically just placed all my shoulder boxes and all that stuff here. A lot of different stuff. But yeah, all the storage area here. I think I had some pretty crazy stuff, but I try to remember. Oh yeah, so a while back, I might have talked about this before, but there's a whole weird thing where we tried to, in a certain version, I think it was like 1.21.2 or something like that, or maybe certain mods, but there was a whole weird thing with the grindstones where if you try to disenchant something, it would give you that item back, and then it would also duplicate it, but it would give you the non-enchanted version. So basically I did a whole bunch of stuff here, and just here to these shields. But there's some pretty crazy things I did it with, but yeah, unfortunately I didn't keep some of the chests there, but if you saw the base that I had in the cherry grove biome, right, head in there. I'm so scared. You're just gonna. These guys, I swear. So this was a gold farm I had, but unfortunately got broken at some point. I don't know how that happened, but so yeah, basically doesn't work anymore. Pretty sad. Yeah, so this is a little block here. Made. I can put a rail here. Probably just got rid of that. Whatever. Yeah, I had some Enderman pick up some of these dirt blocks. It's fine. So I just basically grew a bunch of the overworld crops in here. Right, pick up some beehives over there. Cover them up. And then when I wanted to get the honey, I would just open those so I wouldn't have the bees be angry at me. Just got a whole bunch of the crops in here. I had a pretty bad food problem. So I was like, I gotta have a farm in here. This is a nice little thing of having the overworld, a bit of the overworld here in the Nether. And then this whole pathway here, this is a minecart thing that goes down to there. It's another pull over there I forgot about. So I was gonna make a little structure here, but I got distracted. I think I was gonna make some kind of. I want to do some kind of like pigman, like structures and all that, like some houses or something. And I forget exactly what I was gonna do here. If it was gonna be like a library or watchtowers, I really don't remember. But I'm just kind of discontinued there. Little Hoglin stables, although I barely got any of those guys left in there. I have, one. But then you kept these soul-light lanterns here just to keep the piglins away so they wouldn't kill the hoglins while they're in there. Let me go ahead and... It's getting laggy on here. Turn that down. Okay, there we go. That should be a little better. So, I've had that. And then, yeah, made my own little nether museum thing here. Not perfect and all that, but definitely took a lot of resources. It was pretty fun to build this. I liked it. Probably could have done a little pathway, something. It's kind of starting from the outside, but it's good work. So I even used a couple of these frog lights I got here. So So nether blocks exhibit, although I had said no bedrock or netherite blocks though. But basically, there might have been something. I feel like there's something I forgot. But yeah, this is pretty much all the nether blocks. Didn't take that long to make, but pretty glad I did. So I got this idea from IBX2BCat. In his world, he had a whole thing where, with like a bunch of major updates, he would kind of show off, you know, all the different new blocks and items and all that with the update. Sorry to get some water there. And so I decided, you know what, I really like the nether update. It was the whole thing for me, right? You know, named myself after it, pretty much. So the least I can do, kind of just show off all the nether blocks here. Which is pretty cool. And then, a not perfect thing here, but basically this is kind of just a little timeline thing here, showing just, you know, kind of different progress I had through this world, and particularly relating to the nether here. So, you know, entered nether, you know, started farming resources, found a fortress. Well, probably wrong word there, but because you have to get these from fortress. Well, actually, you can get them from Bastion Remnants. I mean, I went mining for a bunch of gold and netherite. Well, I mean, I probably did a bit of gold mining before this, but you know, a little bit more. Then, you know, I really, you know, gearing up and smelted a bunch of ores, and then, you know, I made my base. Yeah, eventually, at one point, you know, super great level, just something, you know, and then, you know, I visited the end, another dragon egg. So I was originally planning on making this have a second floor, which I might come back in here and change at some point, but I think I was feeling pretty tired. I didn't really know what else, and I like building stuff in Minecraft, but I get tired after it. If I do anything that requires a lot of resources like this one did, so I'll just kind of just like, you know what, I'm done with building, you know, I gotta go to bed or whatever it was, but so yeah, and then yeah, a little pathway here, which I honestly completely forgot about, but oh yeah, and then the pearl down there, which I think that led to Stronghold, but I don't know if it's still linked. I think it's not, because I think the Stronghold got reset, but maybe I'm wrong. Give myself a wee bit more food. I mean, not really too much. And kind of nice little view of some of the stuff there. So let's yeah, this. Wait. I think there was an acacia biome fairly close to us. I had a village that I went to. Clearly not over there. I think that's on the other side. The other direction. Yeah. So, when the Armored Claws drop came out, I spent like a couple of hours going around this area trying to find dang armadillos. Never did. It took me a long time before I actually found my first one. Rushed it, you know, and all that. But I really wanted to get some dog armor. You know, really wanted to get all the new features, all that good stuff, right? So I came over here, did this. I even had, well, actually, no, this area must have gotten reset because I had an iron farm over here. I'm pretty sure. I definitely had an iron farm over here, and yeah, It wasn't like a super massive one. It was overall fairly small, but it was worked pretty well. And also, kind of wanted to spend some more time in the acacia biome. I had a couple of, I had like one or two Java survival worlds where I had a pretty good village in one of these biomes. I built a bunch of stuff here. I got like pretty nice farm and all that. I wasn't like the most advanced year-wise, but it was, I did pretty well. You know, I did pretty well. Yeah, unfortunately, at one point, I died. I lost all my stuff. So I made a dumb mistake. And then I just rage quit the world. Deleted it. I kind of had that issue for a while. If I just had a horrible death, I just kind of gave up on the world. But I'm glad I didn't do that with every single one of these. And this world certainly going a bit better than the Great Tragedy. Unless you count the whole temporary corruption thing with getting some of the chunks of it or whatever. But other than that, you know, I got back over here, got the smelting area, a little grass. I tried to see if I could get flowers from these, but unfortunately, no, you can only get flowers on grass in the overworld with the bone millet. So, there's a nice little kind of hangout area here, you know. So, and I can't really see it that well, but there's a bunch of different ideas of stuff that I might build or anything like that. I was pretty enthusiastic about it, although, again, I think a lot of the times I kind of didn't really understand how long it would take to actually do or make a lot of these things, or, you know, stuff like that, but I just want to have the ideas down, so I didn't forget about it. You know, have it written down somewhere. And it's pretty clear, so you kind of just hang out here, cook a bit of food, you know, kind of just get a good view of some of the different stuff around here, you know. I think that led to all that. So this was not the actual Soul Sand Valley, I just planted here, but if you played a Legacy Console Edition, you know there was a biome on there, the Nether, where you were able to just get a bunch of Nether warts. Yeah, it's kind of the early version of the Soul Sand Valley, if you will. Before they had an actual one, I suppose you could. That's kind of what I was thinking. I don't know what it's called. Have that. Yep, and then you book the ladder and stairs here. Not very well designed, I know, but you know, nice little just kind of hangout guest area or anything like that. There's no bed in here since you try to use a bed and it explodes. So don't have that, but you know, just a couple basic things. You know, it's cozy. You know, hidden. Well, it's not really hidden per se, but you know, it's nice. You know, little area here in the wall. All that. Alright, I didn't really do a ton of the building stuff in the Nether until later on in this world. But I know I definitely wanted to. But, did I have anything built up here? No, not really. No, I didn't. There's just a way for me to get up here. I had a couple of these around the place. Including this one here. Doesn't really done much of anything, but, you know, just a bunch of area where I just cut down a lot of trees. Nothing really built there, but nice flat, semi-flat space. And then I'm trying to remember. I don't actually remember where the coordinates for this strong is. Which pearl used to get to it, but let me try tried to show the rest of my other stuff here. So, yeah, that was down there. That's my mining area. It's pretty big. You can see you got a little bit of skulk action going on over there. And then there's a little cactus farm. And yeah, so over here, 2 different main things. Well, actually 3 different things. So one here, I put the frogs. Let me get some frog lights. A little bit easier. Then the number 2. This is the original nether area that I had. But basically, I've pretty much just mined all the trees up there. It's a pretty flat area. Might build some there for some time. You know, I had a bunch of chests and tables and all that. This was actually a much bigger wall, extended a little further on both sides there. This was the area that I very first entered to in the nether back when I started this world. But yeah, pretty much didn't really have to. This is the area that I had where I duplicated gravity blocks on Bedrock Edition when there was the glitch on there before they patched it. Then a couple other things. So this area here, that led to if you follow the whole pathway down. Actually, I'm kind of wondering. There we go. But is this whole thing here led down to Woodland Mansion? You know, I got a couple outlays from there. I could travel to there, but I don't know if I really want to do that. I didn't really build anything else, so nothing really too crazy. And then this little rail pathway continues on here for a bit. You know, so I have to over some more space. I was considering building a bunch more stuff over here. I don't know why there are the I don't know why there's all these spaces in the nether here with all the nether, all the overworld mobs. But yeah, this is the whole area just whenever connected to this biome since I really wanted to build some more stuff in here. I really wanted to have something. You know, I mentioned earlier, I think it was something like Piglin Village or something. So I figured this would be a really good area for it. You know, I hadn't really done much stuff over here. Those are a bunch of ores. I had mine. Pretty good for XP. All that. So you can see the whole cobblestone down there. So it's a complicated area a little bit, but within, I think it was a fairly short time, we could bring this world over Bedrock up to build. I really wanted to make myself a gold farm, and so basically what I had to do, one of the things for that was basically kind of just spawn proof, you know, a whole area down here. And I built mine with another roof. I don't know if I don't think I still I don't have the farm thing built there anyways because I think it tore down. You know, it wasn't really too big, but it was definitely really bad built all of that. Don't have it work. But I didn't show you from I feel like you confused me. Another roof. So yeah, that. Oh yeah, and then I patched it up, but over here in this vicinity there was a fortress that apparently I didn't see when I had this Bedrock Edition. That was really close to my spawn point, but I never saw it. I don't know if they fixed it or not, but oh wait, no, I had a different gold farm up there or something, but yeah, I think part of it got deleted or reset or something. I don't know, but oh yeah, so I had a villager up there. So one of the funny things that happened because of when I converted this world over through Chunker, the Chunker app, was so not only did it kill the mobs, but it also made it so there's little glitched out areas of the world. So for example, on the nether roof here, I could have overworld monsters spawn, because it would think of like a plains biome or something. It's got a zombified villager. I decided to cure it up here, that we have a gold farm. And you can trade these guys both rotten flesh and gold. So I figured it'd be a really good way to get a bunch of extra emeralds. Oh yeah, and then I guess there's the base there because I forgot the beacons. I never seen. I don't think I actually have seen that. But good to know that's where the base is at. Although I don't know, maybe they might have fixed it with the mob thing over there because it's all Hogland. It's obviously not an overworld mob, so maybe the world fixed itself or something. I don't know. I'm trying to remember here. So I could have sworn I had some kind of extra little bits of the no, it's actually pretty small. It's just let me just fireworks, but I'm not using that the whole time. So this is my the portals for my super great. All the bedrock down there. It's really weird. But this is a gold farm. It works really, really well. I got like a ton of gold, a ton of XP. But I think unfortunately, at one point I was changed stuff up in this world. I accidentally trimmed the part that so if I were to do that, I gotta remake the whole thing over here, so I can use the gold farm again. But man, it was pretty insane. As this little space I had. Zombified piglins to spawn at. So you know what? I guess just for the rest of this here, I don't really want to do it too much, but I'm just gonna use spectator mode to kind of go around, see if there's any stuff that I didn't show you and all that. I got a random little gas just hanging out here. I guess it kind of helped me to show some of these areas with a little more annoying to do originally. So yeah, I took a lot of blocks. As you can see, a lot of cobblestone for me to make this whole thing here. I guess a little mining area down there. Right, so yeah, this is definitely super project. There's obviously a lot of areas that I didn't quite get to that I really should have. Probably would have helped. Yeah, rather there was like a whole ass like cave here. I didn't get, that I really should have. But it was a pain to get this whole area. So this was a whole another fortress that was apparently here the whole time, but I just didn't see. Yeah, but it took a long time to go through this here. I just ran out of cobble. I mean, I had so much of that, so I just used whatever other random blocks I had. And I wanted to remove all this stuff, but I decided, I'm just going to keep it this, history. And it already took too dang long to remove all that. So one of the weird things, again, when I convert this world over, besides just killing all the mobs and making some of the areas glitched out, is that it also meant that any structures that I used on Bedrock Edition basically wouldn't work, because the structure placement on Bedrock and Java is different. So basically, yeah, none of the wither skeletons or blazes or anything would spawn in here anyways, but I still had to spawn proof it from the normal mobs, you know. But the weird thing is that the spawners still work just fine. So I really wish I'd known that, but that this fortress was here. I played on Bedrock a little bit. I don't even remember what fortress I went to, if I'm being honest, when I played this here on Bedrock. I think the one I went to was like some other random, super far away. I honestly genuinely do not remember what that one was. But yeah, bunch of blocks placed out here. But I'm not removing that. Took too dang long. Let me go ahead and show this here. So this portal was actually but anyways, regardless, so this area here actually has a skull thing. So here, I think I had my deep dark area, like purple one over there or something. I don't know if we know it's actually still intact or whatever, but I can tell this was obviously. Wait, this is weird because all the snow layers here. So did this area not get trimmed? I'm confused. Well, I don't know. I guess let's try to go over and if I can remember what the direction was. See if I did in fact have it's over there. Yeah, so I mean, what was it? Past this village, I believe. There's a giant ravine. I don't remember this snowy village. Damn, that's very vertical. And now I think that might have gotten reset too. But I had ancient city area over here somewhere. I know I had some kind of little marker around here with where that was, but yeah, I definitely got reset because there was not. It was definitely not 1.21 at the time. These out here in this last little drop here, so. Yep, I didn't have that there, but I don't know if there's still a deep dark down around here. Although there might be. Oh, I see one. I see a bit of one, I think. There's one right there, and the one right over there. I was trying to think if I can find where where I think the ancient city that I went to was. Probably won't be able to find. I don't know if I'm going to find the exact spot. But okay. Well. Yeah, I try not to too much, but I'm just really curious to see. Really curious to see what kind of stuff. Damn, there's some really big caves down here. But I don't know. It was somewhere in this vicinity. Something like that. I don't know. I don't know if
if I could find it. I had it up, but pretty crazy to see all of these. I hadn't seen a spawner with the skull coverage like that, but yeah. I also used spectator mode a couple of times when I was doing raids just to see if I could figure out where the rest of the villagers were, because sometimes they'd just like go hide in like a cave somewhere and I wouldn't be able to find them, and it was pretty annoying. So I tried not to use it too much, but you know, for stuff like this I don't mind. Well, I think this was the area. I think this was the area where I think it was like just about right over here. So there was a ruined portal that I had, and I built a little bit around here and all that. So yeah, this is I don't think I didn't didn't loot this on here on Java, but this would have been this pretty much would have been where I had my net. I'd gotten rid of a bunch of these shriekers here, and I was planning on trying to reset this ancient city, trying to make it look all fresh and pristine and all that. Actually, I had a bunch of I had a bunch of stuff around here too. I was trying to plant a bunch of grass and like some plants and all that over here, make it, you know, look fresh and all that. This area, that looks exactly how I remember that. It's crazy. So I know there was a like a skeleton spawner or something around here. I don't know if they're I'm not seeing any here, but when this was on Bedrock, there definitely was one along one of these edges that's exposed, and you know, it was pretty crazy. You know, I didn't get was it a zombie? Was it a zombie one? I had some kind of spawner around here. I used that for a long time. Got a bunch of XP, all that good stuff. But I'm not seeing any around here. But yeah, this was the ancient city area. Pretty sure. Pretty sure of that. I'm not seeing any of the stuff that I built, though. Obviously. Don't mind if I do. I was a little cheaty here, but whatever. I forget all the stuff that I originally got in here, but yeah. So that when I found this ancient city here on when I found this one on Bedrock Edition, right? It was in like 1.18. No, it's not 1.18. It wasn't 1.19. So there wasn't there wasn't any of the like armatures or anything like that, which was really a shame, because if I had known that, I could have held off on coming to this ancient city until then. But I'm really curious to see what the loot is on to do this, but it's fun. I don't really need more extra cat music because I have so many of these on here. What are the glowberries? Those can stay in there. Yeah, but there's a bunch of diamonds. Still surprised we don't have a way to craft the name tag.
pretty insane. That's pretty crazy. Yeah, it feels really weird being back in here. There's so many disc fragments. It's crazy. That's not a lot of amethyst. Holy frick. Oh yeah, I think I. Oh no, that would have been. Imagine doing that. Yeah, I think I turned off. I think for a time I turned off the warden spawning because I think I might have had a brief time where I was working around some deep dark biome somewhere. I don't know really where it was, and I didn't really want to be spawning into warden, so I just think I turned it off. I think that's what it was. But I don't remember if that's what the actual thing was or not. But surprised still to get any of these armor trims here. I just got like a silence trim. I didn't say. Oh, there's a bunch more loot. I mean, get that'd be a pretty good pair of iron leggings. I know I got the whole like horse armor and all that, but like, I don't really care for it. Like, I don't know who's supposed to Oh, never mind. I didn't, if I was in survival, that would have been a bit of a jump scare. A bit more. So no, I guess I didn't turn it off. I just didn't hear the warden spawning in, so whoops. I have one of those skelly heads. I don't really care. Those though. Nice to see them though. Is there any other chest that I didn't get already on? I think I probably already got most of them. HZs are pretty cool though. But, I mean, I know the real sketch is really like one of the few places in Minecraft that feels like a horror game. But you know, I think it's really cool. It's a really fun and challenging way to try to get a bunch of always have the chance to get some really good loot. Like most of the time, my loot's coming up, yeah. But you can get some really good stuff in here. I also really love coming here to get the music disc, you know, some extra diamond gear, god apples, books, amethyst, you know, all that good stuff, right? But yeah, I think I pretty much got all about it. I think I already got this chest. Yeah, I did. Well, anyways, yep, so I had to, basically I didn't get the point here, probably wait, okay, that's weird. So I have another portal right here, but I guess it somehow didn't, That's strange. So, yeah, I guess so when I converted this world over, I didn't know that, when I made this portal nearby where I had built from home, you know, I didn't know that that would lead there. Pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. Did not know. So, is there a bastion down here? Oh. Whoops. Nope, nope, just a bit of blackstone. Just a bit of blackstone. CACs. Anything else? Well, I haven't shown the end yet, but I can't really remember where I guess there's another fortress I went to a couple of times. Well, I guess we'll not really like doing this, but we'll do this. I don't really like it much, but we'll probably need to get rid of it later on. But I just want to show the end. I don't want to try to. Stronghold is that. So we'll just get rid of this. Just keep the one portal. One portal block. Yeah, and obviously I'm supposed to be able to. It feels really weird. I don't really like wanting to use creative too much or spectator too much on my personal survival world here, but it can be helpful for stuff like this. So this is my end here. I hadn't really seen it from this angle, but regardless. So a bunch of different little things going on here, as you can see. Obviously it's not finished. Kind of a little weird, but I think it's kind of cool that with the story going on. So over here, I was going to make a whole like mountain or something like that of my own. I was gonna have a whole like little skulk maze going through here. It's gonna be really long, complicated, all that. You can get some pretty good loot along the way or whatever. We have a couple like riddles, puzzles, all that good stuff. Okay, some other weird things that happened here is so the end portals, they changed a bit when they converted over from Bedrock to Java, because the placements are apparently a little bit different between the two on here, which I didn't know that before. So anyways, yeah, some of these you can just weirdly pushed back or like hollowed out, or like just little chips cut off, all this stuff. But yeah, this part is just really strange here. So this one used to just be one of the regular ones that went all the way up here, but it got cut off, and somehow this little part here. So I just got some random floating bedrock blocks, like this one, or like one or two other ones around here, like that, which I couldn't really do much anything of. This one here, so if you saw earlier on in my cherry blossom base, I had a ton of obsidian. This is where I got it from. I just mined this one out. It took a long time, even with an efficiency 5, not the right pickaxe, and taste 2 beacon. But yeah, and I had a bunch of these portals around here. A little broken. I don't know how that one happened exactly, but a few of these were ones that I got here on Java, and so they're perfectly fine, like that one and that one. But so as here, I had a bunch of stuff going on, so I wanted to kind of try to it's gonna be like, I'll have like all the different the 3 different dimensions here. So the overworld is gonna be the biggest one because it's where most of the content of the game lies. It's where most people, most people know Minecraft. And then another, it's gonna have this little area here. And then the end is just a little part here, since it hasn't had like an actual end update properly yet, unless you're counting 1.9. But even so, I still think it needs another update. Yeah, so we got these two portals over here. Yeah, it also cut off a bunch of spaces here and converted over from Bedrock to Java. So just got a lot of weird stuff like that, which I was a bit upset about initially, but I decided, well, you know, maybe it's not too bad because more character, a little more history for this world, you know, and all that, and you know, it still runs fine, like good stuff. I had this. That's really strange. So I can tell there's a block there, but I can't actually see it. I can see the particle effects. It's really strange. Did it do that with any of the other portals? I don't know. I killed. I think it might have done that. Yeah, I think that might. I couldn't see it from down here. It just looked like the portals were broken, but they're actually not. So this area here, and I don't really know how I was going to do this exactly, but in this whole area over here, this was going to be underwater. So I wanted to have a little underwater thing here. I was going to try to make some kind of version of like a, what was it? Ocean monument and shipwreck and all that stuff. But checking back on. I need to plug this in. I was gonna have that, but right, I don't have that just yet. Kind of just a bunch of fun stuff here. So obviously not real nether portal, yeah, unfortunately, but who knows, maybe I'll get a mod that'll allow me to do stuff like that. It'd be pretty insane. Oh yeah, so it's like in the nether, with the parts that were broken, where I was able to get overworld mobs. It's the same thing here. And sometimes when the weather would get a certain way, apparently like it would just like rain or whatever, and I don't know. I was super confused. It's weird to be putting all this stuff from Ancient City in here, but you know, whatever. Right, yeah, so I just have some different overworld mobs. This is gonna be a fun little one here. Just have, you know, a Mushroom Island biome there. This is just a fun little random watchtower. So this little, the one I've highlighted out here, this is gonna be kind of, this is gonna be some kind of hotel or something. I don't know, I was thinking. Honestly, I don't remember what I thought I was gonna do with that one. I was thinking I was also considering hollowing out probably a bunch more of these here. You know, got a couple of farms going around here. You know, I tried to make an automatic crop farming here, but it didn't work exactly. But, well, entirely anyways. It partially does, but I couldn't fully get it. But I was trying to experiment around and wanted to make something of my own. Pretty glad I did, just kept it there. It's gonna be a whole, you know, desert mesa area over here. Just got these weird little chunks like that. This little storage space there. Just go ahead and do that. Yeah, so I just got the storage, a couple of little things up here, and then I didn't really build anything up on this third floor yet, but I just wanted to have space for all the stuff there. Especially if I have a bunch of crops, you know, makes this a little more livable area. And then I made this this farm here. This farm works really well both on Bedrock and Java. I made this one here on Bedrock. So this was, again, when I moved it over to Java, and eventually I had my problem, you know, I had access to commands and all that. So I basically just had myself inventory. But for most of this world's history, I didn't keep inventory. I didn't have any gables with, because I was, you know, trying to get achievements. They didn't have where you could have achievements and, you know, have to keep inventory on a survival world, right? And so, yeah, some of those parts here I was really anxious about. So, for example, when I was placing these hoppers here, the only way I was able really to do it correctly was to go onto the side of this chest here and all that. I had to go underneath of it, I had to put some water over here and you know, go down and place these all in the correct orientation, all that stuff. Man, that was nerve-wracking. Because I could have died, I could have lost the gear that I had, but fortunately I didn't. Yeah, I still have it with me today and all that. You know, like a bunch of Endermen over here. You know, a bunch of Ender Pearls. Way too many of those. I've thrown out so many of them because I don't even bother. Yeah, and then it pretty much just keeps the Endermen spawning in some of these parts out around here that are not covered up by all this overworld or nether stuff. Oh yeah, something by build track for up to here. So this video is gonna be a fun little. This is gonna be a little Easter egg area. It's gonna have like some music discs. It's gonna have a couple of just fun random stuff in there. Maybe we even recreate the like a thing of the end poem and a bunch of paintings and all that. Kind of like how I did with the museum in the overworld. And then yeah, so this is a whole nether area here, and I thought this would be really important for me, especially because right, so me being in a Sir Nether, so even though this is the end dimension, I wanted to have it starting off looking like a nether space, somewhat. So I was planning on making a whole nether shop and cafe and all that over here. It's gonna have like a bunch of really cool stuff. I obviously didn't do that, but pretty cool. So, well, anyways, actually, let me go ahead and put this these extra. I'm gonna put these in there. So yeah, this has been my long-term Minecraft survival world that I've had for the last couple years. And like I said in the last part, I hadn't really played it very much this year, 2025. You know, all that, and I know I kind of did a lot of stuff, probably a lot slower than what other people, you know, probably would have expected me to have a lot more within that time. It's understandable. I expected myself to. But I think at the same time, too, I think sometimes people's expectations, my own included in that, can be a little higher, a little bit demanding. And especially, you know, for a lot of people, Minecraft is played as a very relaxing, very casual type of game. And so I try not to get too stressed about stuff, especially when you're doing any sort of, you know, big projects or whatever, like, you know, covering up the main end island and all that. So, yeah, I didn't actually have anything built on any of the outer islands. I wanted to, but I didn't really need to just yet. I was planning on doing it at some point, you know, making like a end village and stuff, right? More things that inspired by IVX TobyCat, but was not very high on my list of priorities at all. So I never did, and I just basically just pruned all of the end multiple times over to reset all the end cities and stuff. Especially if I had any new players, so that they can get, you know, lighter and all that way easier. Everything in this dimension except for the main end island and that little space over there for the Enderman farm, but basically the entire rest of the dimension. So this is definitely the non-laggiest dimension for me, since I don't really have very much in it. But so anyways, hope you enjoyed this, and yeah, and I'll see you in the next. Actually, well, let me try to see two last things here. I'll see real quick. So I did have a I don't know where it's at, but I probably wrote it down in my books. But I did have a frog-like form. Froglights. So yeah, this portal leads to back to this area. So again, if you didn't see it in the last part of the video, kind of showing some of this stuff again. But yeah, I'm pretty proud of this world. I've built a lot. I've done a lot of stuff here, and yeah, it was kind of fun revisiting it. It's kind of fun going back through it. I may play more of this I may not. I honestly don't know. I don't think I want to delete it or anything, because it certainly took a while to make all these things, and there's a lot of history with it. But I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, so if you enjoyed this, if you did, feel free to like the video, subscribe to my channel, and the notification bell, and see you in the next one. Awesome, this one. Oh, I completely forgot about this. I'm sorry. So, yes, one of the nice things that happened because of this world getting reset, part of it, is that I made a little farm prismarine. I got so much prismarine. Oh wait, I'm sorry. I completely forgot. I don't. Video just still a little bit more. This was really not that hard to set up. I mean, definitely took a lot of bamboo and string to make all that, but not too bad. And this thing runs pretty insane, and you get like tons and tons of fish. So I have a chest over here. Yeah, and double chest over here. Where I just kept all the extra cod because I wasn't gonna eat it all. But that we wouldn't have to worry about food as much. I mean, I still have to cook all that cod, but it's there. And I started underwater base somewhere, but I can't remember exactly where it was. We've got spectators a little faster. Yep, it's definitely lagging a bit. Oh yeah, so this is underwater area that I had. This was probably one of the much more recent things I did on this world the last couple times I was on here. Like at the end of the year, pretty much, or something. I don't know. But yeah, so this is, I really wanted to have an underwater base area. I never had, before this world, believe it or not, I've never had an underwater area that I used to base or anything like that. So this one here, I didn't know if it's honestly going to genuinely replace any of my other ones. And I know it's a little weird for me to do this, especially because I'm a Nether guy. But one of my other most favorite areas in Minecraft is oceans. I love the ocean music and whatnot. So I just put a bunch of sponges I got, so I was trying to drain this out here. Curious what you all think about this whole design. I really like it. I think it's really cool. Swag. I had a bunch of these in here. I'm glad that I'm because this is definitely a pretty cool part of the world. I know I didn't really build too much over here, but man, I had plans for this area, you know, and I'm glad I didn't entirely neglect this, but I think I had a village somewhere around here, I would say. There's the Ocean Monument. So, yep, pretty close to one of those. Probably should have had a farm there, but whatever. You know, not too worried. It wouldn't take too long to get here anyways. So I had a village on an island somewhere. I had a bit of farm, but nothing real much. So anyways, yes. For real this time. If you enjoyed this, feel free to like the video, subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell, and I'll see you in the next one.